But if time travel is possible, nature must have a way around the contradiction.
One thing that physicists are quite certain of is that the universe ultimately makes sense.
In all of physics and all of science more generally, consistency, self-consistency, common sense, if you like, is something that is a fundamental principle.
Physicists have come up with at least 3 ways that nature might act to prevent time travel paradoxes. The first is simple. Nature prevents paradoxes by making time travel into the past impossible. In other words, it can't be done. A different alternative is the strange idea of multiple universes.
One way of dealing with travel back in time is to say that you actually enter a different parallel universe after having made the journey back in time. So you don't affect the history of the universe from which you came. In effect, anything that can happen will happen. But the way it happens is by entering a parallel universe. Pretty bizarre thought.
A third solution to the paradox problem is the notion that if time travel is possible, you just won't be able to change the past when you get there. The science behind this can be illustrated by reducing the problem to the simplest situation you can think of. For example, balls on a pool table.
Let's set up a pool table that's like a time machine. If a ball enters one pocket, it travels through a wormhole and can exit another pocket before it entered the first pocket. So it's a time machine. So now suppose the ball really does go through the first pocket, emerges before it entered, and then hits itself before it entered the first pocket. That would deflect it, preventing it from entering the first pocket, and thus preventing it from having exited the second pocket and done the deflection in the first place. So it's a paradox. However, the idea of self-consistent solutions gives us a way out of this paradox. Suppose that the ball exiting the second pocket can only hit itself in such a way as to deflect it into the first pocket. Then the whole loop is self-consistent. There's no paradox. We think that nature always somehow manages to choose the solution that provides self-consistency. In other words, you always get a solution that does not produce a paradox.
If that's the case, and Clifford Johnson were able to travel to the year 1937, he might be able to meet his grandfather. But despite his best efforts, nothing he does would alter the fact that somehow his grandfather will meet his grandmother to allow Clifford to be born. One way or another, the universe will prevent him from changing history.